Hey, hey, team in the house. What up, what up? So, we're all excited to be here together, and we're going to go ahead and get started because everyone's busy. And if you couldn't make it on the call, hopefully you get a chance to watch this recording because we are all very, very excited. A lot of us just came back from Summit, which is like our annual huge fun coach event. If some of you guys are new and you don't know what it is, we were in New Orleans and smelling the streets and watching the people and having fun with our tribe and Team Courage and all of us together learning and growing, which was amazing. So there are three very special coaches that went to Summit for their first time. We actually had five. That was their first summit, but three of them are going to go ahead and share a little bit about their takeaway and what it really meant, and maybe even like an objection or a struggle that they had to work through to even get there, because it can be kind of scary. Okay, so Alicia is going to go first. Sorry, sidetrack, squirrel. Okay, so tell us about Summit, girl.
It was not what I expected, but in a good way. Everything seemed to tie together in one word for me, and that word is belief. For whatever reason, whether it be things that have happened in the past or things that I tell myself, I have never really had much belief in myself. And this whole year really has kind of wrapped up that whole word. So at Summit, a lot of the people talked about a shift, which would be a mental shift, a switch of mindset. And Summit for me was that switch. My shift was belief. And not just my shift, but it's like my family's shift right now. One of the things that I wrote down that I want to share with you guys, I can't remember who said it because I wrote it just randomly on a piece of paper, but we were talking about fears, and they said, listen through your fears and still do it. And that has been a big thing with me lately. I find myself getting fearful or anxious or whatever, and then I don't have enough belief in myself to actually do it. So for me, it was one of those things where everything linked together and it came in to create a belief in myself. And I know this guy here got a lot out of it too, because now I'm starting to see that he's starting to believe in himself. He's been watching me and supporting me from the sidelines. And our last night there, he decided that he was going to start his own journey. And he's been working out and drinking the shakes, and he started to see what we as coaches do and started to build more of his belief in this whole business and everything.
I just want to say thank you. Appreciate it for all of you.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And I know that my husband was there along with some of our husbands that were there. And, he gets a little bit more every single time he's attended. And this is his third summit with my third summit. He's been going with me ever since the first time. And he just gets a little bit more growth, just kind of like in inner growth. And this time he came home with a big shift as well. So our guys are some accountability partners right now, which is super awesome because, they finding their own beliefs in themselves and their visions and what they want out of their own lives, and out of their own health, and what they want for their families, which is totally awesome. I love that. Okay, so we are going to go to Maria. Thank you for sharing, Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
Maria, go ahead and unmute yourself. Now, what was Summit like for you? I can't hear you. Just so you know, you're not muted.
Okay, here I am. Woo! I had to figure out how to unmute myself. Summit for me was about confidence. A lot of people, you see me at work, think I'm just full of life and confidence and I've got this. But before Summit, like minus anything else in my life, I had no confidence. I didn't have confidence in my posts. I just posted because y'all were posting too, so I thought that was what you're supposed to do. And then, I don't know, there was a shift in me and my confidence, and I'm just going to throw it out there, and I don't care what anyone says. If they don't like my post, that's not my problem. They can unfollow me, unfriend me. That's cool. I just keep doing my thing now. And I'm just posting whatever now these days. I'm like, look at me. I'm doing this. I guess it was just inspiring. It was just amazing for me. It was awe-inspiring to see everyone come together, no matter what our stories are, our backgrounds are. Because I had gotten a lot of slack from work about going to some fitness convention. You're supposed to be going on a vacation. Why are you going on a fitness convention? And I'm like, no, it's more than that. And when I went back to work and they started telling them about it, they're like, oh. I'm like, well, yeah, I do more than that. So that was my biggest takeaway. And then this is Sassy. Say hi.
Hi, Sassy.
Okay, that's it.
And didn't you, Maria, like, you were talking about how you were driving out to Vegas to the airport and you were like, really had doubts?
Yeah, like I was waiting, even as I was waiting for Kendra to come pick me up, I'm like, maybe I'll just tell her no and not go. Cause I'm like, money was kind of an issue. Like I had saved, but it was still in the background. Like, how am I going to be able to afford this? How can I take time off of work? I had work texting me with all sorts of crazy things like, well, how do we get this done when you're not here? And I'm like freaking out the whole time, but y'all didn't see that part. But yeah, but somehow I got on the plane and I'm like, I'm going to New Orleans.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And everything that you got out of it that's amazing. And that's priceless. That kind of stuff is priceless, Yeah. And for those that have never been to an event and you're like wondering, well, what the heck is so exciting about these things? I mean, it truly is life-changing. Yeah. Truly.
And I got to see Brendan Bouchard. I'm sorry. I was like jumping up and down in my seat.
You didn't pee your pants just a little bit?
Maybe just a little bit.
Maybe just a little bit.
A little bit. I can admit that to y'all. Just a little bit.
That's cool. Very cool. Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're gonna go to Stephanie before we get into like some other cool details and what's going in some updates with what's going on with her team. So Stephanie and Russ were at Summit as well.
Yes, and I think this was your first ever kind of a thing like this.
Wow.
For us, there was, I knew I could have the time off because I was my own boss to begin with, but he had to take time off from work. We got the tickets early, but then there was that, how are we going to get the plane tickets and how are we going to get the place to stay and how are we going to afford all this, and lots of discussion about that before we got there, but so glad we made it happen. I think the energy and the motivation that I get out of these kind of events is, for me, another piece of the puzzle. I was telling him on the way home, it's like it fills in little cracks every time I go to a training or listen to a speaker or coaches. It's just another little piece that fits in for me that helps me out. And every time that happens, I get a little bolder in how I feel and in my confidence and in my posts and talking to people. And it builds up your skills. And I know that for me, that's where I feel if I can build the skills and put in the time, I'm going to get there because the belief is there.
That's awesome. So you guys would probably, what do you have to say, Russ? What do you have to say?
I love being around that much positive. Y'all, my family, you don't know that, but you are. So whatever you need, whenever you need it, just ask.
Oh, and I also got, don't give up. No matter what, just stay. And the one gal said, and I think it might have been Melanie Mitro, that said, don't stay here a year, stay here 4 years, 5 years, like you're going to college. Put in the time, stay, build your skills, and it'll happen.
That's right, because we all saw, like at Summit, that, I mean, this thing's things don't happen overnight. You know, we don't build confidence overnight. We don't suddenly become, you know, top coach overnight. I mean, it's a process within ourselves. And I think that's such a big thing that I get out of Summit too, is those reminders and a refuel. Like, I need to refuel myself, and it's a refueling station for me. And to be able to be around, you know, all of us together with all our extended team, with Team Courage, it's just, it fuels my heart and warms me so much that, you know, to be around those other people and hear their stories is awesome. But
Absolutely.
so awesome. I'm so excited for all of you guys' this first summit. Yeah. So with that being said, and all the mind shift that happens during an event, you know, I know everyone talks and hypes it up about, you know, summits and super Saturdays and things like that, but they are so truly, truly important, you know. So we're going to check in and find out when the next Super Saturday date is, which is, you know, a closer event. Usually try and do something even local, or those of you that, you know, live in different states, let's try and find one that's near you. It's awesome to get to know other coaches even that are on other teams that are, you know, we're all in it. We're all a Team Beachbody family, regardless of what team you're on, you know. So it's an awesome way to be able to meet new friends too, and to have other people to relate to and other stories to listen to. So some things that were mentioned at Summit that we want to make sure that we talk about is Team Cup is the next thing. So there are going to be probably a lot of you that are like, Team what? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Beachbody a couple times a year puts on a contest, basically. And it's really to build momentum and to build, to have some fun, team bonding and building our businesses all at the same time. And that's how I see it. I've done a couple of them before, and I know like Andrea and Marla have been in some, because, you know, they've been around a little bit longer too. So you get to team up with, usually this time it's 5 coaches. Two of the coaches can be diamond coaches, which is great, because in the past it wasn't so much, but now, you know, two diamond and above. And it's so that way, like maybe some seasoned coaches mixed with some brand new coaches or in between can really thrive and learn from each other. And it's all it is. And I know sometimes some people go, oh my gosh, contests, like I have to know all this stuff. You back away and you get scared and then you don't want to be in it. It's just working on the vitals. You're learning how to be consistent and working on posting, reaching out and connecting with people, inviting, and you know, earning Success Club, which is really fun. And the thing is that as a team, you earn Success Club points as you earn them. Beachbody prizes, which, you know, some of the prizes are super really fun. In fact, I think the very first Team Cup I did, it was like a sports one, like a baseball thing, which of course I'm a total baseball family. So I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. And it was a team, seriously, like baseball, Team Beachbody, like baseball looking shirt, like quarter sleeve. Like I have it. And I was really sad because somehow I must've got some kind of grease stain or something on it. So it's like seeable, but not seeable. Anyway, but I have it still. Like that was a long time ago. That was like 3 years, 2.5 years ago. And, but those things, you know, they're fun, and you get to work together. And then what's great is that we are teaming up with one of Team Courage's leaders, Christy Vincent. If some of you guys have probably heard her on team calls, those of you at Summit saw her on stage at our team training, talking, things like that. Her and her team, we have a document, we have it posted in our Business Builders group. If you're in there, add yourself to it, fill in the information so that we're all gonna mix together and have some fun and put some teams together, and that's gonna be really, really fun. If you have any questions about that, please ask in wherever you need to ask at. You know, if you're in the Builders group, if you're in a team chat, you're not in that group yet, or just ask your coach, okay? Let's see. New challenge group. New challenge group is up. It's called Summer Shift, right? Kind of goes along with the Shift Shop. I don't know why, but when I think of Chris Downing and I say Shift Shop, I want to be like, ooh, Shift Shop, okay? I know. Okay. And I'm not drinking. So the new challenge group just started, and we're going to be moving some people over the next couple days from our existing. So those of you that have challengers in there or that you're in there, just let us know. You definitely want to keep going, you know, all that good stuff. Let's help your challengers move on over and continue on so that they can get awesome success and have lots of fun with that extra encouragement and motivation in the challenge groups. The War on Debt free group, do not forget, we do have that coming up. Our free group is 5 days, and it begins on August 7th. Jess Fodor is a coach on Team Courage with Christy Vincent. Yeah, total Sapphire. My Sapphire usually takes over my body most of the time, if you haven't noticed. But hey, right? I bring the fun to the team. Whoop, whoop. So War on Debt group, she is putting it together. So basically, if you guys haven't been to Dani Johnson yet or aren't familiar with that, we're taking Dani Johnson's tools on her War on Debt and the basics on breaking that down and being able to pay off debt quickly and how to do that. And some of us were at leadership, and Chad had taken that exact same formula and just kind of broke it down a little bit more directive, which we were like, oh, light bulbs, and really, really liked. So Jess is actually taking that and creating like a 5-day step. She's going to share that with us shortly when she has that finished getting together. And then, but we can invite to that, you guys. This isn't just a coaches only thing. So I'm going to do an invite probably, you know, like that 5 days before kind of thing, because you don't want to invite to a free group too early, because then people forget, right? So you want to do that usually. And we have an event page for it. So if you don't know where that is, ask. It's in our builders group. I might even just kind of bump that post and bump it up top, so that way everyone kind of sees it and doesn't get lost. So we're going to do that. Most importantly, live sneak peek on Monday. So those of you that don't know what that is, because we really haven't done many of them, we are going to do a live 1 hour, or did we decide 30 minutes? What did we decide? We didn't decide. Andrew?
No, you never, yeah, you brought up the 30 minutes today, but I don't think we ever decided what would we want.
Okay. So, well, let's talk about it here, and you guys can all, we can all decide. If we did the 1 hour, yes, Andrea?
I think it depends on how many people we get to share, because 30 minutes is going to be a pretty short time if we have more than 3 or 4 people sharing. You know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe 45 would be.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think.
Kimberly Wilcox had sent me her little breakdown today, and it was the 1 hour breakdown, and there was basically a roll call in the beginning, like a welcome, and then someone was introduced, and then there was a prize giveaway, and then another person, a prize giveaway, a third speaker, prize giveaway, a fourth speaker, and then the goodbyes and thank yous for coming real quick. So that was in a 1 whole hour time frame, and everyone literally, it was like 10 minutes of talking and then 5 minutes of like the prize giveaway. She also said that right now they're just changing it over, and they're now doing 30 minutes and doing prize giveaways like the next day. So it kind of keeps it running to like a second day, to where people can still ask questions, or if they need to go back and look at the lives because they weren't able to be on live. So we can do like a couple fun prize giveaways for those, you know, that were questions or that were there. We could do that, and then keep it down to where it's just speaker after speaker. So I don't know, what do you guys think of each of those ideas?
Marla?
Yeah, no, I think that's, I like that. I'll have to get used to the everybody taking turns going live thing, but.
Oh, yeah.
I think definitely less than an hour.
Yeah.
Don't need to drag it on too long.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we can try 30 minutes and see if that's enough time. If not, then we can always change it next time.
Who have you decided, who do you want to speak, or how many, or?
Well, if we have 4 speakers, we can have an opener and a closer. and then, let's talk to our coaches and see who would like to share. She said that they've done it a couple different ways. We can do basically like the 4 people kind of like tell their story a little bit, basically within the 10-minute time frame kind of thing. And just kind of tell their story and what coaching has done for them, how they started coaching, and then maybe add in something like an objection that fits specifically to that person's story. So like say, like Alicia, she works full time, or Maria works full time, like where, when they're talking and telling, if they were speaking and telling their story, like how they fit that into their cracks of life, into the mom, especially with Alicia, she's got 2 little kids, into the mom cracks and how she fits that into the business. So it kind of like takes care of that, answers that objection instead of just, 4 people telling their story. Like there's a little bit of a purpose to that particular story. You see what I mean?
Right.
And then, like Stephanie and her health, I know that, when she started this journey, that was like a huge thing with Shakeology. So, that's huge to be touched on. Let me think. Time. So there's money, time, and being salesy. So I think those 3 are probably the biggest objection. So 3 of the people, 3 of the speakers at least within their story, like be able to touch on that and answer that objection basically. For the
Are we gonna make sure that who's ever going live, say who's ever the first person going live, at the end of it, make sure stay on this page because somebody else is going to be popping up live. So as soon as somebody doesn't end their live, the people get off of that page.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And then so the welcoming, the greeter, I guess you want to the Walmart greeter will, that opens up, will, I think should explain that and be able to say, okay, this is how, we're going to go live. There's going to be 4 different sharers. It's going to be able to answer, questions that you might have. You may be able to, relate into the, any particular story of any of them, and see yourself in any of their stories or whatever, you know what I mean? Kind of how it goes, how it gets started. And so let everybody aware that that's how it's going to go. Like
right.
We're going to go live, and then when they're finished speaking, then, the next speaker will get on and go live, and it'll be all in the event page. That way, oh, sorry, I just got my little notice. 10 minutes. I'll be up in 10 minutes. So I think that would work good, and letting everybody know, and then that way when we're live, somebody else, any of us that are on and watching, as people are making comments, we can comment back. If they have a question, the question can get answered. So the person that's speaking and sharing doesn't have to focus on comments that are coming in. Because even when you're live, I don't know about you guys, but mine are so delayed that I don't even see comments pop up until after I'm already done. It's kind of, a bummer. But then that way, if we're on and we're watching and people are coming on, then, we all can be hands-on, whoever is.
Well, and maybe we can, because we start answering people's questions, that might take us longer than our 10-minute time. So if we're trying to keep each speaker down to 10 minutes and people are asking all these questions, maybe it will be good for the rest of us to be on there instead of, oh, okay, well, let me answer this one and then let me answer this one. We can tell them, we'll get to put your questions here and we'll get them answered, but we don't want to take up too much of their time that night.
Absolutely. Yeah. And let them, we want to let them know, hey, we want to honor your time. We know that you're all busy. Thank you for being here with us. And this is how it's going to go. And then if you have questions, please ask during the live, some of us will be able to answer the questions during. If it doesn't get answered immediately, we will see it and we'll be able to, we will answer your questions and we can talk more.
Right.
So yeah, no, I think that would run really well. I think it's sounding really good. What do you guys think? Yeah?
I think it sounds good.
Okay. So yeah, so then maybe then what we'll do, and then at the end we'll be like, hey, we want to give away some prizes. So we're going to be doing our raffle tomorrow, and that kind of gives them a little way of wanting to kind of maybe stick around, or those that couldn't get on live that we've invited that really wanted to check it out, we can be like, tag them in the air, and be like, hey, this is the first live, this is the second live. If you have questions that, we can still kind of be in there, and it'll kind of run like a 2-day span, just so that if we have lingerers, we can finish up with, and then we'll do a couple prize drawings. Like, there's a bunch of us that have a bunch of stuff, so it's not like we don't have prizes.
Yeah, I got prizes. Yeah, maybe make sure we tell them, it's only if they comment and like can we see who's on. So
yeah, like we're not going to know if you're on if you don't comment and ask any questions. It's not going to pop up. So make sure to, don't be afraid to ask questions, so that way you can also get put in drawings.
Right.
Yes, excellent idea. Excellent plan, Stan. Okay, so I think that sounds good. I'm so excited. So the live sneak peek. So you guys,
I love you.
let's.
I love you. Thank you. I definitely needed your craziness right now.
It's been a crazy day. It's been a good day, but it's been a crazy day. So invites, how do you invite to a sneak peek? We're going to talk about that in our builders group. Everyone's busy tonight, and this is probably going to end on us here shortly. So we want to wrap this up. And Marla, you have been you've been making a list of people that have been liking your posts from when we were at Summit. Even those that were at Summit, people that are liking your posts. I know that you've been sending out like some really mass awesome invites, whether it is to coaching, maybe to the sneak peek, or even to challenge groups. I would really, really love it, because it would help me, and I was thinking about it tonight, if you would maybe copy and paste a couple of those invites in the group, because I know I could kind of use some little fresh ideas. Sometimes I get a little bit scared, and don't just send it, right? Just do it. Just do it. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say, what's up? Okay, so we're done. Have a good night.
Night, guys.
We love you guys.
Love you.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
I'm done with my